Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to our first TBG Reacts video. We got Glacier Fate, Phantom, and me reacting to this video today. The video we're reacting to is Creepiest Stories Found on Wikipedia.
We all know Wikipedia is the perfect place to go to kill an hour, or 6. On this comprehensive compendium of the internet's knowledge, one page can quickly lead to another, and another, and another, and before you know it, you're so far down the rabbit hole that you can't remember what brought you to Wikipedia in the first place. For all its interesting and entertaining information, there's also a dark side to this online encyclopedia, and the creepiest stories from Wikipedia will be sure to keep you up at night. Number 7. List of missing aircraft. We might prefer to imagine that instances of disappearing aircraft are a relatively rare phenomenon. But a quick glance at this anxiety-inducing Wikipedia page is a chilling reminder that that might not be as true as we would hope. This grisly page attempts to list every commercial and military flight that's ever gone missing, going all the way back to the dawn of the age of flight in the 1850s. Although at first glance this distressingly extensive list may appear to be complete, the page's authors are careful to note that this list is far from comprehensive and happily invite you to add to the list.
And I don't plan on being on a plane.
Yeah, me neither. I don't plan on being on a plane.
I don't mess with that.
I have to go on a plane in a few months.
Search has been called off, and the majority of the plane's
it's gonna be
wreckage
fun
has
after
not been
watching
located.
this.
Since 1948, more than 100 aircraft have vanished without a trace, as per the Aviation Safety Network. Among the many hundreds of tragic disappearances included in the Wikipedia's page list is one of the earliest aviation disappearances, the 1879 disappearance of a Pathfinder hydrogen balloon, which tragically vanished without a trace over Lake Michigan, killing ballooning pioneer John Wise and his passenger George Burr, whose body was pulled from the lake, though no sign of the drowned balloon was ever found. In May 1927, while attempting to win the Ortique Prize for the first non-stop transatlantic flight between Paris and New York, the Levasseur PL-8, piloted by Francois Colli and Charles Nungesser, disappeared somewhere over the frigid expanse of the North Atlantic. No sign of the plane or the aviators was ever found. Perhaps the most famous aviation disappearance of all time was the devastating 1937 disappearance of Amelia Earhart's Lockheed Electra during Earhart's attempted around-the-world flight, which proved the largest search in history at the time.
Yo, Jason, that's you right there.
No. Oh, he's blonde hair. It's me.
Though no trace of Earhart, her navigator Frank Noonan, or her plane was ever found. And of course, there is the tragic and mysterious disappearance of Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. In 2014, the Boeing 777 disappeared somewhere over the Indian Ocean.
We should watch a video. Hold on, pause.
Alright, what?
We should watch that. I've always wondered what happened to that plane. Have y'all ever watched
No.
I think that they found out what happened.
No, I don't think they. I mean, maybe. I mean, we could watch something on that because that's like a shocking story. They never found that plane.
We're about to get hit with an ad.
Souls on board. No trace of the plane has been found, despite a huge search effort, and it remains the largest commercial disappearance in history. Perhaps don't go down this particular rabbit hole before getting on a plane. But if you think you're safer on
I don't think a plane flies sideways.
You might change your mind about that too.
This is gonna make me want to go on a plane even
Titanic
more.
passenger list. The tragic fate of the ship Titanic is
Would y'all rather be on a cruise or a plane?
Was supposed to be unsinkable, but that plane
no,
when she
dude.
struck an iceberg.
Hold on. A cruise or a plane?
Yeah, a cruise or a plane.
I'd rather be on a plane because if you crash land, you're gonna die in like 2 seconds. So it's not a painful death. You'll die.
Okay, but if you still have a chance of living if you are on a cruise if it crashes.
You still have a chance.
Are you saying, Jason? Are you saying if it crashes or just being on one in general?
If it crashes.
Like if an incident happens or something.
Well, yeah, obviously cruise. Yeah.
Hell no, I'd rather be on a plane because if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die like that.
I know I had a choice to either go on a plane or a cruise one time to go on a vacation. I chose cruise. I don't like planes. I don't like the height.
Oh yeah, I remember when you went on a cruise. Yeah. I don't know though, cause you still have a chance of living if you went on a cruise.
Yeah, how they design cruises now, it's kind of hard.
the Titanic, there ain't no way you're gonna live.
Yeah, now we're going about the Titanic.
Chance.
Yeah, you're really fucked if you were on the Titanic.
Because the Titanic, that water was freezing.
Why is there a Bigfoot on the iceberg?
I don't know.
Let's play the video. Alright.
That's good.
iceberg and sank on her maiden voyage in 1914. Thanks in large part to a shortage of lifeboats, 1,503 of the 2,208 people on board the Titanic
Damn, dude.
died in the frigid waters of the North Atlantic. The numbers are staggering, but a quick look at the Wikipedia page that lists each of the passengers by name really brings the horror to life. The Titanic's passengers were divided into 3 distinct classes. First-class passengers were predominantly from the wealthy upper class
I was
and
about to say
included
so
prominent
funny.
businessmen like Macy's
Nothing.
department store owner
It's like
Strauss,
Jason.
J.J. Astor and his 18-year-old pregnant wife, and even British aristocracy like the Countess of Roths. Second-class passengers were mostly middle-class professionals and tourists, while the third-class passengers were mainly poor immigrants moving to the US or Canada in search of a better life. The Wikipedia page includes the names of every single passenger who traveled on the Titanic, as well as some startling photos and the unbelievable stories of some of the survivors, like the 2 boys who had been kidnapped by their father and taken across the ocean under assumed names. They survived, but their father did not, and they were
What
dubbed
the hell?
Wait,
There's
what?
the story of the
That's
How old were they?
crazy.
only black family.
Hold on. How old were they, I wonder?
Dude, them kids were like 5, or not
Yeah.
even. Like they were like 3.
They had to be.
Dude, imagine getting kidnapped and getting brung on a Titanic, and then the guy that kidnapped you dies and you survive.
Crazy.
That's slowly instant karma, dude.
On board, who were moving from France back to their homeland of Haiti, where Father Joseph's uncle was president, hoping to escape rampant racial discrimination in Europe. There's also the account of Milvina Dean, who was just 2 months old at the time of the sinking, and when she died in 2009, she was the last living survivor of the Titanic disaster. If you're looking for more creepy death-related entries, you can't really beat our number 5 creepiest Wikipedia story. Number 5, last meals. In many countries around the world, it's customary to give condemned prisoners.
Hold on. I got something to
This
say.
can make me hungry.
I got something to say. Have y'all seen that thing where the guy, I don't know if it was like real or not. I think it's just
What, death row?
No, it's like this trick this guy did for his last meal. So he asked for strawberries, but they wasn't in season, and they said if he really wanted them, he'd have to wait, and he got like more time to live or some shit. I don't know if it was real or not. But
Well, that's smart as fuck.
I seen that shit on TikTok, so it's probably fake.
Yeah, probably fake.
Yeah. All right.
Prisoners their choice of a final meal before their execution. This fascinating yet gruesome Wikipedia page compiles the very last meal eaten by some of the most infamous death row inmates from around the world before they were executed for their
The fuck
horrendous
is wrong with
crimes.
his nose?
John Wayne Gacy, Chicago's killer clown, ordered a dozen deep-fried shrimp, a pound of strawberries,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that story.
and a bucket of KFC, which
For
was
real?
extra creepy. Considering
Yeah, I've heard of it too. I watched the whole thing on
worked
it.
at KFC during his brutal murder spree. Danny Rolling, the Gainesville Ripper, who murdered
What
5
the
students in
fuck?
Florida, feasted
God
on lobster tail,
damn.
butterfly shrimp, baked potatoes, and strawberry cheesecake.
That ain't no
He was
butterfly
accused of
shrimp.
his heinous crimes. Oddly,
That's
serial
some,
killer
like,
Ted Bundy
dude,
declined a
what the
special
hell?
last meal, and he refused to eat the prisoner's traditional last meal of steak, eggs, hash browns, toast, coffee, and juice. Bundy went to the electric chair on an empty stomach. This fascinating page lists the final meal of hundreds of evil murderers, but it's probably best not to visit this one before eating.
Y'all think like
What do you mean? I'm hungry now.
right after the last meal, one of them shit themselves in the chair?
When you die,
have you
that's
ever-
what you gotta
have you ever-
do.
If you've got a weak stomach, then definitely skip out on the next creepy Wikipedia story. Number 4, Robert J. White. Robert
Oh
J.
no.
White was one of
When it's
America's
just the names, you know it's about to
neurosurgeons.
get
He graduated
crazy.
from Harvard Medical School and went on to have an illustrious career, earning honorary doctorates from a number of prestigious schools and getting invited to speak all over the world. He was also a devout Catholic with 10 children and was even an
God
advisor in
damn.
medical ethics to the
Hell no.
Pope. Dr. White also had a
If you had 10 children, that's you know he's really
Dude, that
young.
stimmy be hidden different.
All right.
dark side. In 1970, he performed a controversial head transplant
fuck?
surgery on a pair of monkeys. Because the surgery involved severing the spinal cord, the monkeys were paralyzed from the neck down. But after the operation, they were able to see, hear, smell, eat, and taste, and followed movement with their eyes. Sadly, immune rejection ultimately led to the death of both monkeys 9 days after the operation. Amazingly, Dr. White appeared to be undeterred by the death of his subjects or by the backlash he received from the outraged medical community and horrified public. He made plans to repeat this outlandish experiment on human subjects in the 90s, but thankfully it seems he never went through with it.
Why is his
What?
face
Medical
red?
experiments are
Why does he
terrifying,
look
but
like
our
that?
next entry has haunted the residents of a small English
Yeah,
village
that wasn't
for
as
over
bad as I thought
60
it would be.
years. Number 3. Bella in the Witch Elm. In
Oh,
1954, ominous figures began
let me get
appearing around
that
the English
name.
village of Hagley. Scrawled across stone walls and on local monuments were the menacing words, "Who put Bella in the Witch Elm?" This message was particularly sinister in light of the fact that just a
That
year
looks
before,
like that.
That does
That
not look right.
that is. Okay, let's just play the video.
first appeared, the body of an unknown woman had been found inside the trunk of an elm tree in the nearby woods by a group of local young boys. The body appeared to have been dead for at least a year, and as time went on, with no breaks in the case, many bizarre theories about who the woman was and exactly how she died circulated through the town. Some believed the body belonged to a Birmingham sex worker named Bella, who had been known to work on Hagley Road and who had disappeared 3 years before the body was found. But in the days before modern DNA technology, police were
You guys hear
unable to prove
dogs
this
barking
theory.
outside?
Others,
That's
like Margaret
people
Murray, an
outside.
anthropologist and archaeologist from the University College London, claimed that the fact that one of the victim's hands was severed was proof that the murder was the result of a gypsy witchcraft ritual called the Hand of
Fuck
Glory.
no.
The most intriguing theory came to light in 1953 when a woman named Una Mossop told police that her husband Jack had confessed to family members that he and a friend had put the woman in the tree. He claimed that she was alive when they placed her inside the trunk, but she was simply so drunk that she had passed out, and Jack claimed that they had been hoping that she waking up in the tree would prompt her to see the error of her ways. Years before this ex-wife went public with her tale, Jack had been committed to a mental institution after being plagued by recurring dreams of a woman staring out at him from inside the tree, and he died 3 years before the body was found.
Oh,
Despite his confession,
no.
the murder was never solved, and to this day graffiti continues to appear near where the body was discovered, always asking, "Who put Bella in the Witch Elm?" It's unlikely we'll ever know. Speaking of the supernatural, our next entry goes from possible with ritual and ghostly graffiti straight into the world of The Walking Dead. Number 2. Mercy Brown Vampire Island. In 1892, tragedy struck the Brown family. Multiple members of the family contracted tuberculosis, a much dreaded and feared disease at the time. And as one after the other succumbed to the dreadful illness, friends and neighbors began to whisper. Popular folklore at the time held that multiple deaths in one family were linked to the sinister activity of the undead, and the locals were convinced that the Brown family was plagued by a vampire. Matriarch Mary was the first to die, followed by her eldest daughter, Mary Olive. Daughter Mercy succumbed in 1891 at the age of 19, and soon after her younger brother Edwin fell ill. Desperate to stop the disease from destroying what was left of the family, George Brown ordered the exhumation of the
Why does
bodies
his
of his
nose
wife
look like
and
a fruit
daughters.
roll-up?
Both Mary and Mary Olive's bodies showed an
He
expected level
looks
of
like that guy
decomposition.
on Dude Perfect. I forgot his name.
I,
I know
What's
you're
his
talking about.
name?
Yeah,
What's his name?
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when the body of young Mercy was removed from her grave, her corpse showed almost no signs of decomposition and her heart was still filled with blood. To the locals, this was a clear sign that Mercy was the undead cause of her family's tragedy, ignoring the fact that she'd been stored in freezer-like conditions in an above-ground crypt for 2 months after her death, which likely slowed decomposition and preserved her corpse. In keeping with local superstitions, Mercy's heart and liver were removed from her dead body and burned, and the ashes were mixed into a tonic for Edwin to drink in an attempt to halt the influence of the undead on
Is this Frozen or something?
No, but he drank. Oh,
That's disgusting.
what was that? His daughter?
Yeah.
the
He
poor
drank
Brown
his
family.
Daughter.
Unfortunately, Edwin
That-
died 2 months
wow,
later,
just-
and poor Mercy's body, what was
Oh
left of
my-
it anyways, was reburied in the local graveyard. Finally, our number 1 spot and proof that nothing is more terrifying than normal everyday humans. Number
Dude,
1.
why are their
the
noses
From
so
Hell
fucked
letter.
up?
On October 16, 1888, George Lusk received a most gruesome delivery in his Daily Mail, a blood-stained letter containing half of a preserved human kidney. Mr. Lusk was at the time the
Ugh.
head of the Whitechapel Vigilance
What
Committee,
the
a group
fuck?
of local volunteers who patrolled the streets of London's Whitechapel district by night during the reign of terror of the notorious serial killer Jack the Ripper. The letter, which was postmarked October 15, 1888, read, "From hell."
Yo, hold on.
Mr.
There's a
Lusk,
movie on
sir,
this.
I sent
What?
There's a movie on this. I think so. I think it's called like Jack.
What's his
It's like a
name?
horror movie. I think it's on Netflix.
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, that'd be lit.
you half the kidney I took from one woman, preserved it for you. The other piece I fried and ate. It was very nice.
What the
I may
fuck,
suggest
dude?
you check
What
it
the
out if you can only
fuck?
wait a little while longer. Signed, catch me when you can, Mr. Lusk. This was just one of a number of horrible taunting letters believed to have been sent by the killer. He was also purported to have sent the Dear Boss and Saucy Jackie letters to local newspapers, and was believed to be behind the Openshaw letter sent to another investigator. Despite these careless attempts to engage with investigators, Jack the Ripper was never caught, and his identity remains a mystery to this day. This is one Wikipedia rabbit hole with a wealth of gruesome information to explore. This sampler of just a few of the creepiest stories from Wikipedia is a great reminder that you may never know what creepy tales of horror await at the bottom of the rabbit hole. If you thought this video was fascinatingly creepy,
Dude, that
Dude,
shit
that
was
last one was
crazy.
like nasty as
The
fuck.
fucking, what was it? Kidney or something?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
fucking cut half of the, or I think it was like half of the kidney,
That
and the
shit
guy
was
that sent him it
disgusting.
ate like half of it. That's fucking
That's
nasty.
fucking disgusting.
Blech.
That's crazy.
I know what I'm gonna do for you on your birthday.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. We're gonna have reaction videos, should be every week out. If you wanna get notified when we upload, make sure you hit the bell below, and make sure you're subscribed. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.